let's continue with the chapter transport, water transport. Now water transport in our country operates at two levels. Which are the two levels? Inland and oceanic. Inland and oceanic. Which water bodies can you use for inland water transport? Moving within your own country by water is called as inland water transport. Which water bodies you can use? You can use river, you can use canals. So many canals are navigable. You can use backwater. But if you want to use any water body for inland water transport, first that water body should have enough volume. So can I say we will prefer to have perennial rivers because they are rain fed and snow fed both, so their volume is always more. Second, that water body should be deep enough. It should have good depth. Third, that water body should flow through flat terrain. There should be no rapids. There should be no waterfall. These are the factors we will be considering while using any water body for navigation. Can we frame a question on this? What factor decide navigability of any water body? Volume, depth, terrain. The terrain should be flat. No rapids, no waterfall. Okay, now let me go more detail in this topic. We have a lot of rivers in India. Let's divide rivers of India into two groups. Peninsular River and Northern Plain River. Northern Plain rivers start from the mountains. Of course, we know that. They all start, like for example, the northern main river is Ganga. Ganga starts from Gangotri. It flows through entire mountainous area. Okay, it flows through mountainous area and finally, then it enters Indo-Gangetic plains. Okay, then it enters Indo-Gangetic plain. So now, let us compare river of north and south. South means peninsular river. There are plateau here. And there are rivers here. So now, kids, listen to this and try to understand it carefully. We have rivers of north, we have rivers of south. Rivers of north flow through two types of terrain. Ganga and other rivers, half they flow through mountains. But once they leave the mountain, they all flow through northern plain. Like Ganga, Gomti, Ghagra, Gandak, Yamuna, Son, all these rivers. Okay, even Brahmaputra in that case, though it is on the other side, eastern, initially they all flow through mountain, but then they enter the plain. So now my question is, the rivers of north which enter the plains, like Ganga enters plain, I think from Allahabad. So if you see these all rivers of north which are flowing through plain, and on other side we have rivers of south which are flowing through peninsular plateau. If I compare these both the rivers, let's see. Northern plain rivers will have more volume because they are rain fed and snow fed both. Peninsular rivers will have less volume because they are only rain fed. Northern plain river, they flow through flat terrain, no rapids, no waterfall. I repeat again, I am referring to the rivers of north, not full journey of north. I am talking about the rivers when they start flowing through plain. So in plain, they flow through flat terrain, no rapids, no waterfall. But if you see the rivers of peninsular India, most of them flow through plateaus and small hills. So there are a lot of rapids, there are a lot of waterfall. Depth of northern plain river is more, depth of southern river is less. Now when I consider or compare these both the river groups, who is more suitable for navigation? The rivers of northern plain. Because our factor of more volume, more depth, flat terrain is found in the plains river. That is why it is said now, Ganga, of course not from its source, but from Allahabad up to its mouth, it is fully navigable. Why? Perennial, rain-fed and snow-fed. More depth because so many tributaries are joining Ganga. Flowing through gradual slope, flat terrain because northern plain is entirely flat. That is why right from Allahabad up to its mouth, it is fully navigable. Kids, this question, Why rivers of northern plain are more suitable for navigation as compared to peninsular river? Or why peninsular rivers are not as suitable for navigation as northern plain river? This is a very important board question. Volume, depth and terrain. We are going to compare the rivers on this basis. Now, we should promote inland water transport. There are two advantages of inland water transport. In fact, Government of India is also promoting inland water transport. There are two reasons. Mainly A, it is eco-friendly. Inland water transport is eco-friendly. And second, inland water transport is cheap. These are the two advantages of inland water transport. But let me tell you one thing. Recently, the importance of inland water transport seems to be declining. Why? In fact, if you see in our country also, we don't use inland water transport. To travel within our own country, we would rather go by train or road or by flight. We don't really use water transport to travel within our own country. Why? Because A, inland water transport is slower as compared to rail and road. B, different seasons में रिवर के लेवल का पानी का लेवल चेंज होता रहता है. All season में level of river water doesn't remain same. There is seasonal fluctuation in the level of the river water. In summer, the level of the river water will drop. In monsoon, it will be soaring. So the level of the river water is not steady. Also, in recent time, do you know what has happened? We have diversified lot of river water for irrigation purpose. That has brought down the level of river water. So they have become little unsuitable for navigation. So these are the main three reasons that why inland water transport is not so popular. Which agency takes care of inland water transport in our country? IWAI, Inland Waterways Authority of India. Okay, Government of India has proposed to make 4 multi-modals, out of which the first multi-modal has been already inaugurated. So this question usually they ask that first multi-modal is inaugurated on which river? Basically, why this multi-modal is inaugurated? They want to promote inland water transport as it is cheap and eco-friendly. So the question they ask is on which river multi-modal has been constructed, inaugurated, River Ganga. And in which city it was inaugurated? It was inaugurated by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. It has been inaugurated on River Ganga in Varanasi. Okay, now in this chapter they have given us few national waterways. Which all things you need to know about national waterway 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let us have a look. National waterway 1. Please remember it is on which river? NW1. It is on the river Ganga, Bhagirathi and Hooghly. It is connecting many cities. You don't need to really remember all the cities' name. Just remember the first and last city. So the first city is Haldia and the last city is Allahabad. It connects Haldia and Allahabad. And on which river it is? Ganga, Bhagirathi, Hooghly. National Waterway 2. It is on Brahmaputra river. Which are the first and last city it connects? Dhubri with Sadia. Dhubri with Sadia. This year, many schools in the prelim paper had asked question indirectly on this. So what indirect question had been asked on this? Let me tell you one thing. National Waterway 2 is on Brahmaputra river. Brahmaputra river, you all know very well, is in the eastern side of India. So there are northeastern states. If you know Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Manipur, these all are northeastern states. You know, all these northeastern states by National Waterway 2 are connected to the port of Kolkata and Haldia. So now the question they can ask you is, which national waterway is useful for the northeastern state? National waterway 2. And why? Because it connects them to the port of Kolkata and to the port of Haldia. Because it connects them to port of Kolkata and Haldia. Please remember this point very well. Then we have National Waterway 3. It is on west coast. Please remember that. Connects Kollam with Kottapuram. It has got great tourist potential. And along with Kollam and Kottapuram, of course, there is West Coast Canal, part of it. Champakara Canal, part of it. Udyog Mandal Canal, part of it. These three canals are part of this national waterway. Excuse me. So, National Waterway 1, 2, 3 are very important to remember. And then we have, these are the main you need to know. Now we are going to talk about oceanic waterways. See, I'll tell you one thing, oceanic waterways form backbone for our economy. Do you know 95% cargo by volume, 70% cargo by value is transported to other country and from other country through ocean. How important it is for our foreign trade. Very, very important. India has a great location with respect to the coastline. We have 3 massive water bodies surrounding us. So we have a very good coastline that gives very good connectivity to rest of the world. We have 12 major ports. We have 187 notified and minor ports. But of course, we are going to talk about only 12 major ports. What information I am going to right now focus on, please pay more attention to those ports. Let's talk about the ports of Eastern Coast first. In Eastern Coast, we start सबसे पहले with West Bengal from the top. In West Bengal, there is a port of Kolkata. Please remember, Kolkata is a riverine port. It is a riverine port on the bank of river Hooghly. Riverine port, bank of river Hooghly. Second port, we are going to talk about West Bengal again, Haldia port. The main purpose of making Haldia port is to relieve the pressure on Kolkata port. To relieve the pressure of Kolkata port, again on the bank of river Hooghly. So there are 2 ports on the bank of river Hooghly, Kolkata and Haldia. Then we have a port in Odisha, just remember the name, Paradip. Then we have Andhra Pradesh. In Andhra Pradesh, we have a port which is a very important board question. Visakhapatnam port. What is an important question with this respect? Deepest landlocked port. It is deepest landlocked port. Then we have a port in Tamil Nadu, Chennai. You need to know 2 information about Chennai very well. It is the second largest port of India. And it is the oldest artificial harbour. But again, the environmental quality of Chennai port is getting deteriorated. The traffic is too high. To help improving the environmental quality, to decongest the traffic, they have made a satellite port. 24 kilometers to the north of Chennai port, they have made a satellite port. And that port is called as Ennore port. It's a satellite port which is purely built to help Chennai port, to improve the environmental quality of Chennai port. What is the name of the port? Ennore, E-N-N-O-R-E. Also remember one thing, Ennore port is a port which is run by a public entity. It's run by a public company. Usually all other ports are always managed by trust, but this port is run by a public company. It's a satellite port. Remember that very well. Then we have one more port on the last east coast, Tuticorin, again in Tamil Nadu. Now let us talk about the port of west coast. Gujarat. There is a port called as Kandla. You need to know 3 information about Kandla very well. Free trade zone. It's a tidal port and it is located at the entrance of eastern end of Rann of Kutch. Not entrance, eastern end of Rann of Kutch. At the end, eastern end of Rann of Kutch. Then we have in Maharashtra the biggest port of India, Mumbai port. It's a natural harbour. Then we have in Navi Mumbai, ultra modern seaport. You need to know this very well. Ultra modern seaport, Jawaharlal Nehru Port, also called as Nhava Sheva Port. It has all the modern facilities, mechanized container berth, everything, all ultra modern seaport. Then we have a port in Goa, Mormugao. It's a natural harbour again, like Mumbai. Its location is important to remember. At the entrance of Zuari estuary. Then we have New Mangalore Port in Karnataka. You remember in minerals chapter you had done one Kudremukh iron ore mine. So that Kudremukh iron ore mine, when that iron ore from that mine, when we want to export to other country, we use New Mangalore Port. Then we have the last port in Kerala, Kochi Port. It is also a natural harbour and maximum spices when we export to other country, we use Kochi Port. So these are all the important information you need to know about the port. What is the difference between port and harbour? See, port are man-made commercial places. Harbours can be man-made or they can be naturally present. They will be connecting a piece of land with a large water body which serves as a port. See, port will have the buildings, loading, unloading facility for the cargo. Harbour will not have all them. They are just used for anchoring the ships. Okay. The location of the port is chosen along the coastline, of course, because we want to reduce that's convenient, right? Natural harbours are surrounded by land on most of the side and has entrance point to the sea. The main purpose of port is loading and unloading of cargo. The main purpose of harbour is anchoring the ship. But nowadays what we do is, at harbour we make all the facilities of the port also. So it becomes a port and harbour both, like Mumbai. Mumbai is a port and harbour both. What are the advantages and disadvantages of waterways? Advantages: cheapest, helps in movement of bulky goods, eco-friendly. You don't need to have any extra infrastructure to be built in water for sailing your ship. Correct? Fuel efficient, eco-friendly, less traffic. Disadvantage: slow, dependent on weather. And everywhere, navigable route, oceanic route do not exist. You want to travel by ocean or by river, but the route also should exist. There should be some water body. Everywhere navigable route do not exist. Everywhere oceanic route do not exist. That is the disadvantage of water transport.